To summarize.
Ooh, this look good.
Meaningless battles.
I'm asking that you ignore text messages and phone calls where they're trying to pull you away from your focus and go to clubs and hang out. Be obedient to the visions, the ideas. Move on them.
Concentrate on the moment. When you specify your aim, the pathway makes itself manifest. So if you aim upward to the best of your ability, then the pathway upward is what will make itself manifest in front of you.
Win the mother.
What's out? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host. Hold on, wait. I ain't advertisements. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Thank y'all for being patient with me and working with me always to make sure we get a good quality stream out here. I know you can't see a box in there, but it's okay. I'll put it up there in like 2 seconds. Let me just make sure everything is live. I'm gonna get y'all straight over to y'all motivation for the day, and then we're gonna get this thing started. It's sure to be a good, nice little talk for us today. I will be staying on the entire time. We're going to go all the way until the 10 o'clock. Probably, maybe we can go like a couple minutes after because, you know, I came on a little bit late. So let me get y'all just a little bit of motivation, and then we'll go from there. Apparently, I ain't going to repeat it. I know what happened. And I can't get my mouse over there to the other screen either. All right. Let me fix these problems for y'all real quick behind the scenes. And here we go. Ooh. And you know it's motivation for my women, so motivation for my women. Get off of me. Stop jiggling. Yeah, I can hear that medallion every time I move. It's always, why is always such a it be tough. Motivational. It's always tough on the man and woman day. It's kind of a little harder on the woman day though. Motivational speech by a woman. There you go. And they always got the same people: Oprah, Obama, my girl, what's her name? Jasmine Siri. Let's keep going for 2 more seconds. Look. They got stop wasting time on women. Jeez. All right, y'all. Let me pick y'all something. Let's go. I guess we can listen to the rest of this one.
I feel fulfilled in helping you achieve your goals. It's the most fulfilling thing that I do is to watch another person benefit from something that I help them do. I'm not here to compete with people. I'm here to continue to lift people up. My hope is that the support that I've shown you and others have shown you, you will find it in you to show that to someone else. One of the reasons I started the mentorship program in the White House was because I wanted people to know that everyone has the time and the capability, even the First Lady and the President of the United States, because the President had a separate mentorship program too. And we connected our mentees with senior people throughout the White House, from the Chief of Staff to the head of the household to Secret Service agents. They were connected with people on a regular basis. So if we can do it, if we could find the time in our busy lives to take a moment out, because it doesn't even take that long.
And the room went silent.
Right. Not as long as it's commercial, huh?
Finally saying, competitors.
You can have an impact on another person with one good conversation. You know, I never underestimate the value of showing children my regard, which is why I take time out when I see kids, because I think even if I'm with you in a photo line or on a rope line, that maybe there's one thing I can say to you, that you're beautiful, that you're smart, that I see you, that I believe in you. Yeah, I don't know you, but sometimes a kid just needs to hear that. And that doesn't have to come from the First Lady. It's powerful when it does come from the First Lady, but coming from you, coming from all of you to someone who looks up to you, it means the same thing. So my expectation for all of you is that you find a way to mentor.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
maybe now is not the time, but at some point in your life, when you get to a place where you have the space, my hope is that you make that time.
Yes, ma'am.
And that you continue to look for the
That's what
mentors
this
in
hour
your
for.
life, because I still look for mentors, even today. Anybody who knows more than me, I'm going to sit them down and they're going to become my friend. And I'm going to ask for help. I did it when I came into the White House. One of the first people I sat down with were other living First Ladies. I made it a point to meet with every single one of them. Number one, to just thank them for their service. Number two, I wanted to make sure they felt the lines of communication were open.
We gonna
with
talk
me.
about that. Ooh, we gonna
Third,
talk about that.
I wanted to know what it was like for them. What were their challenges? So you never stop learning, and I never stop learning. So if I'm still looking for mentorship, you all should be doing that in every phase of your life. Whether it's another
Yes, ma'am.
mother, when you become a parent, you're going to need other parents to help you mentor. If you're in a relationship, you're going to want mentorship to help you get through your relationship.
Right.
It
Yes, ma'am.
never stops.
That just hit. You know, that little couple quick little seconds just hit. And I don't know about y'all, for me it did, because you can't go at it alone, is what she's saying. No man is an island and all of the above. You wanna have that, not necessarily person. It doesn't have to be a person, but you want to have something to look to that's helping you to get over or get through what it is you trying to get through. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to just be like, oh man, I got this every single time. You want to have something like that in your life. Now, that's going to lead me to another little piece of a conversation that we going to clear the path today. That's what we doing. That's what we doing here on Expansion Pack today. We're clearing a path. And the path needs to be cleared for our children, for those that come after us. Because not everybody has children. Some people just have, they cousins, nieces, nephews, and whatnot, and so forth. Hold on, let me get the box on for y'all. All right, I'm back. I had to get that fixed up for y'all. So today we just gonna clear a path, and like I said, it's for those that come after us, because not everybody got kids, not everybody trying to have kids. It's just for those that come after us. All right. Now, what I mean is that you can't go forward doing things that are gonna stop your forward progression, that's gonna be destructive to you, or that's gonna burn the bridge ahead. How you gonna burn the bridge ahead and then we gonna pass? How you gonna pass? You gonna build a boat from one side, or you gonna fix the bridge? What you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? And so that is the mentality that we have when we don't humble ourselves, when we don't use patience, when we don't exercise good judgment and make good choices. We burning that down. We throwing gas right in front of us, lighting it and setting it on fire, and now we got to walk through the fire. Walk through the hell, boy. Get your ass in that hell. You made it. So with that analogy, I know you can see what I'm saying is ahead of us right now. So I want to start with these two words. It hit me hard body. These two words: first lady, right? What the heck is this? I said YouTube. First lady. Now, then what Michelle Obama said, and usually I don't whatever. Usually I don't really like feed off of the motivation, so to speak. I just kind of do my own thing, and the motivation is just to motivate me to do my own thing. But she really spoke to what it is that I just thinking, and what I'm thinking when I say clearing the path. You know what I'm saying? And she said she met with the other first ladies, you know, the living first ladies, and she thanked them for their service. Now, let me do it again. Just went off in my head. The reason why is because thank them for what? What service did they do? If you are uneducated to what you are providing, or if you don't see the value you give to another person here on this planet, then that statement goes right over your head. First lady, I'm thanking the other first ladies for their service. To what? Doesn't Obama, you know what I'm saying? All the other ladies who was married to the other ones, that's who they serving? Or are they serving the country? Or are they serving both? Crazy, right? Now, let's see how destructive this mentality can be. Oh, hold on. I turned the audio off. My bad.
Like, I always think about it from the...
Do you still walk away from your family?
You do if it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's like I always think about it from the perspective of a lifeguard. So if you're training to be a lifeguard, one of the things that you're trained to do is to approach someone who's drowning and panicking. You basically tell them if they're flailing about, you say, look, I'm here to help, but you have to calm down. And then if they cling to you, like in panic, you push them away. You think, well, that's pretty damn cruel, because what if they drown? It's like, yeah, what if you both drown? So you say, look, quit panicking, I'll help you out, but I'm not drowning along with you. It's like, well, it's the same with someone in your family.
All right, did y'all catch that? That was good. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a big fan of analogy. Like, I'm a big fan of it. It's really, really good to have a good analogy for what it is you're trying to convey, portray, say, all of the above. It's nice to have. He just summed it up. When it comes down to going forward, what are you gonna do when your path forward is to help that person, and there's no way for you to help them? There's some way for you to help them. What? And just attach the analogy. My bad. Attach the analogy, and we can go forward. Now, let's look at one more of these real quick.
A family structure, even amongst animals. You take away the matriarch, take away the masculine energy. The cubs are fighting. The cubs are destroying each other. Because there's no father, there's no figure to come through and be like, hey, stop that shit. And that's what you get. When are we gonna stop? A lot of you young niggas got kids. A lot of y'all got kids. Imagine, and I want you to sit and imagine all the horrible things that could happen to your kid while you locked up. A family structure.
Now, I'm gonna keep running him down, but what we doing here is let's just look at let's look at a piece of the last 5 years maybe of some music. From last 5 years. Oh man, that's cool. 1960 to 2020. That would be cool to look at, huh? Top 5 biggest hits each year. All right. We're gonna skip. We're gonna fast forward.
Able to build an app with a name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
All right, that's way back. That's 2021. Okay, boom. Hold on. Okay, we got some scissor in there. Who that is? Who this is? Okay, we got some Teddy in there. When you're not next to me. All right, and then we got that. Now let's see what this one is. Now, those last couple songs, hey, what's up, Zanita67? Now, those last couple songs, I actually like them. I like the words, you know, like the world was ending, and that lose control. Those songs now, and I'm just looking at that little handful are speaking to the soul. Now, if we go back to, let's say, when I was 10, let me pull out it's some songs that would speak to the soul. And you literally can see what changed between then and now. And what it is, if you ask me, is you have a more aware group of people listening and a more aware group of people making the music of how it's affecting people. Now, I go to the music immediately because if you listening to a song that's saying jump, 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 if you got enough space, you probably gonna jump. You can get up off the floor. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna hurt nobody. You get what I'm saying? And that's the effect of music on you. Now imagine making songs about certain stuff for the last 50 years, 40 years. I think that a lot of people ain't had no choice. It's because while you were changing your diet, while you were going and exercising more, you may not have changed the music that you were listening to, and then that music kept you in those behaviors, kept you in that way of being. So now, in order to clear that path out, you either got to listen to nothing at all, which I do now. And I'll put the music in there that I want to say what I wanted to say at the time. Or I'm really going to be listening to something with just music. Just that good vibration and that good harmony. I can show you something right now. Look at this. Watch this. The most Peaceful facts about emotional healing. Check this out. This is an alternative for anybody looking for just a different way to take in sounds.
Fold properly. Membranes balance their charge. DNA unwinds just enough for repair enzymes to pass through. Your cells are listening to your calm, translating stillness into structure. Every heartbeat sends a wave of coherence through your entire body. Every exhale reprograms your molecular memory toward peace. The more you rest, the more your cells remember that rest is safe. You are not only calming your mind, you are editing your biology, rewriting the ancient code of survival into one of serenity. And with each slow, rhythmic breath, your body whispers back to you, I remember. I know how to be calm.
Hey, good morning, Queen. I hope you're having a great day out there. I so appreciate you for them likes. So, listen to that. You see the difference? He's still talking. It's still words over the music. It's still music in the background. It's a nice little soft ambience. Now, it's not your go to the club, pour that drink. You know what I'm saying? Pour that drink, pour that drink, pour that drink. But, appreciate the share too, Stacy. But it is music, and I feel like I've been a connoisseur of music, so I was able to stumble upon it a little bit faster maybe than somebody else. But imagine my kids. I'm riding, we listen to these types of things. When they get older, they may need this, just this moment and knowing that this exists, because they may choose or be around their friends and they may choose to listen to something completely different. And when they're searching for a break, they don't have to search far and wide within at least a memory to know where to go to get it. And a lot of the music that is consumed by anybody is just programming, because that person who's singing the song, I can sing you a song right now that make you want to think, or make you want to look at something, or make you want to just bop and tap your feet. You know what I'm saying? And that's my intention. That may be my intention. And so in order to keep yourself and your children and those that's coming after you on a good footing and in a good way, it's a good handoff, you know what I'm saying? I can't constantly talk about things that's not going to be healthy for them. Now let's look at movies. Okay, let me see how I can approach this. All right, I'll just look at this. Ooh, I got something. Let's look at this. Or movies. Let's see how they decide this. That'll be good. How do they decide the parental ratings for movies? All right, let's go. Guess the family film from the IMDb guide. All right, hold on. Wait. Let's put on filters just real quick because we got to be legit. All right. Let's hit his rant first. He only got 200 views. We'll give him another couple. That's my guy.
Hey there, how's it going? Well, to go further into my video about our creative flow, one of the problems is something that some others in comments had brought up that I've talked about before, and that's how much it costs to make movies now. Okay? The cost to make movies should be far lower than it's ever been. But the Hollywood movies that get put out cost more than they've ever cost, which doesn't really make much sense. Some of what causes this is the Motion Picture Association of America. Now, I've said that, we should sort of abolish it, or, you can't really do that on a government level, but, there should be something. We should be able to
This is truly a rant.
The Motion Picture Association of America.
Why?
There's some of the reasons why theaters have to, release movies the way that they do. It's the reason why there have to be so many people involved in making a movie, and why they have to be paid a certain amount, and all this sort of stuff. It's the standardization of the way movies are made. That is why movies cost so much to make.
Okay, well, we don't particularly care about the cost of movies to make. Let's get to what we actually doing. Only movie rating, intro, full HD. Let's go. Let's see how they decide. How do they decide this stuff? No, I'm not necessarily excited to see Zootopia 2. All right. Guess the terrible movies by Bad Parents reviews. A history of movie ratings and changes over time. This guy looks like he has it.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes free in the app if you didn't file with us last year. Just file with TurboTax Do It Yourself by February 28th. Download now.
I love y'all.
What's that song about gangsters moving all sneaky like?
Real G's move in silence like lasagna. You wrote it.
What?
Shout out. That's a good commercial, though. That's my guy.
No NC-17 films, but there's a ton rated R. Why
Right.
does my 60-something-year-old father refer to PG and PG-13 movies as both PG? It all has to do with the history of the Motion
That's what we
Picture
looking for.
Association, or the MPA. This organization, formerly known as the MPAA, the MPPDA, with the PPDA and the PCA. Anyway, this organization was formed all the way back in 1922. There weren't movie ratings in 1922. The biggest concern for movie studios was making sure the American government didn't start censoring their films. So, the MPPDA struck first and censored themselves. None of the movies had ratings back then. They were all supposed to be appropriate and not a blah 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 blah. Nobody cares. That just sounds like a snooze fest. Can you imagine if the government made laws back then like no kissing for more than 1.5 seconds, or only 2 kisses in a movie? I feel like they would have done it because, alcohol was illegal. Anyway, society changes over time, and studios had to reflect that change. Audience members did not want Shirley Temple tap dancing forever, okay? Things came to a head in 1966 with Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, a film you've definitely heard of, but you have no idea why you've heard of it. When Warner Brothers executives first saw a cut of this film, an exact quote was, "My God, we've got a $7 million dirty movie on our hands." So, this movie had sexual content and language that nobody had ever seen in a movie like this, mind you, because it was based off a play, and the play was worse. Quite honestly, I'm not really sure why this kind of content being in a movie was such a big deal when it was already in a play. The play, for example, at one point said, "F you." The actual word. They didn't say F you, they said well, I didn't say it just there. I just added a bleeping. Anyway, the movie replaced with Screw You, and apparently Screw You was a big deal at the time. When the film was released, all theaters showing the movie were under contract to keep everybody under 18 out of the theater. So you must be wondering, what happened to this scandalous film? It was the 3rd highest grossing movie of the year. The number 2 spot went to a Julie Andrews movie. The number 1 spot went to a film called The Bible in the Beginning, which I think is really ironic. There was an audience for all types of content in 1966, both historical biblical epics.
Right. And screw yous. Right.
Obviously, the MP, whatever it was called in 1966, needed to update its standards. In 1968, the MPAA premiered 3 official film ratings, but there were actually 4, but there were really 6. I'll definitely go into this, but we're going to start with the 4. The lowest rating was G.
G,
for
okay.
general audience.
Let's read it.
This
Let's read it.
film-
Hold on. Let's read
We're
it.
going to start with the 4. The lowest rating was G.
Now, ask yourself this question in your mind as we reading this and as we doing this. How many movies have you seen where you ain't even look at the rating? Because Those were actors. That was a script. That was not a real thing. It didn't happen at all. Somebody just made a movie and you watched it. They didn't really happen. Those characters ain't real. And so that's an influence on your life. Maybe it gave you good morals. Maybe it didn't. Who knows? So now let's read it. The Motion Picture Code and Rating Administration has rated this motion picture G, suggested for general audiences. The lowest rating was G for general audiences. This meant a film was non-offensive and okay for
audiences. This meant a film was non-offensive and okay for absolutely everybody. Take your 6-year-old, take your grandma, I don't know your life. The R rating was also introduced, which meant
okay. Rated R, restricted. Persons under 16 not admitted unless accompanied by a parent or guardian.
Under 16 years old was allowed without a parent or guardian, meaning your grandma could take your 6-year-old. But I feel like there's better activities for a grandmother to do with a 6-year-old than take them to an R-rated movie. But again, I do not know your life. The final official MPAA rating was called M.
Mature. And we be going by these ratings today.
The final official MPAA
suggested for mature audiences. Parental discretion advised.
Rating was called M. In modern times, M means like really violent video game. I don't know.
And they are really violent. This is the you would not do in real life. I'm telling you. There's no barrier between adults and kids right now. There's no real barrier. And what I mean is that your 16-year-old has a device with access to everything in the world. So they can go get rich just like you. They can, just like you. They can go do anything they want just like you. Unless they are restricted the access. But then again, there's somebody else who's not restricted the access that they're close to, like a friend at school and things like that. So yeah, they get the stories, they get told it, and then they never tell you that they know the world. There's no barrier. Should there be? We'll talk about it later.
But in 1968, M meant mature audiences. Parental discretion was advised, and the M rating sat between the G and the R, and the unofficial rating was called X. I don't know why I said that so ominously. X. No one under the age of 17 was admitted to an X film.
Hold on, wait. No one entered. Hold on, wait.
Ominously. X. No one under the age of 17 was admitted to an X film. So you could take your grandma if you wanted to. But you better hire a sitter for your 6-year-old. The MPAA kind of referred to the X rating, but it wasn't one of their official ratings, so anybody could technically do whatever they wanted with it, and they did. If a movie wanted to be X, then it was X. The glaring gap here is the PG-13. 1970 saw some changes. Parents weren't sure if something rated mature was better or worse than restricted.
Restricted,
If I
right.
didn't know any better, I might think that it's okay to bring a kid to a restricted movie, but not a mature movie. I'm sure several
Yeah.
traumas were formed during this time period. A moment of silence for kids who were accidentally taken to our movies and not M's. Thank you. I'm kidding, hopefully. I don't think it was that serious, but it was enough of an issue that clarification was needed. So in 1970, rated M was changed to rated GP.
What
which
is
meant
that?
to signify that parental guidance was suggested. But that was renamed in 1972 to
PG. Okay.
GP.
Okay, parental guidance suggested and some material may not be suitable for pre-teenagers. Right. Because they don't know what's going on in the world yet.
Looks like it stands for guidance parental, even though it's actually parental guidance. So logically, it should have always been PG, and I really don't understand why they did GP. You live and you learn. Live, laugh, love. So from 1972 to 1984, we had the ratings G, PG, and R, and the unofficial X. Which is why my father only uses PG to describe PG and PG-13. I don't think he ever got with the times with that department. PG to R, however, is a huge gap. So what movie exposed that gap and changed the rating system forever, you ask? In 1984, 2 movies actually. Gremlins.
Yeah. Now you know what? Yes. That's one of them. Because I keep trying to think. I keep trying to say to myself in my mind, hey, I'm going to show the boys or I'm going to show the kids Gremlins. But it's like, that movie is like, it's going to scare the hell out of them. So true, they can even put whatever birthday they choose on the websites. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And so you're going to see a lot of changes to a lot of that in 2 months, tops. Like they might even say that kids under a certain age can't even be on a device after a certain time. Like when they go to the movie, like you can't be out here. Not without your mom.
Those 2 unofficial ratings we have.
Hold on, let me turn it up.
Mentioned yet. X was the Wild West of movies. Actually, Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple.
What? What was so? I gotta go back and rewatch Indiana Jones because they probably like a kissing and sex scene, and in Gremlins they just wildin'.
Doom. I still want to talk about those 2 unofficial ratings we haven't mentioned yet. X was the Wild West of movie ratings because it was not regulated. And you know, people wanted to be a little saucy, so they expanded past the just standard X. Eventually, there were 3 classifications of X. X, double X, and
Oh, okay. I get it.
I don't know why I said it like that.
You know why.
X, double X, and triple X.
If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like so YouTube shows it to more people. Or don't. I don't know your life, but I'd appreciate it.
Still unofficially, X meant no kids, and that was it. But since there was no regulation, double X became a thing, which, let's just say, that was used to describe, softer movies. Fill in the blank. There was also triple X, which was used
So that's
to
where that
describe,
came from.
harder movies. Because naughty movies were running in movie theaters with double and triple X ratings.
They was in
general
movie
public
theaters?
members began to think that anything with an X, even just the single X, signified something something. Due to this perception, movie theaters stopped showing X movies.
Right.
And a lot of places didn't want to run advertisements for an X-rated movie. Therefore, X became really not that profitable.
Wow. They showed X-rated movies in movie theaters with bunches of people.
Anyway, back to PG-13 movies. The kitchen scene in Gremlins and the human sacrifice scene.
Okay, that's what
Back
made
to
it.
PG-13 movies. The kitchen scene in
Okay, the kitchen scene in Gremlins.
and the human sacrifice scene in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Those scenes were the ones that really brought up the conversation. Steven Spielberg, who directed Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, is actually the one who suggested the PG-13 rating. PG-13 stands for Parents Strongly Cautioned. Some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13. And this time, they got the P and the G in the right order. In 1990, the MPAA, as it was called at the time, said, enough with the Wild West of the XXX. They made a new official classification of movie rating, except it wasn't X, it was NC-17. NC-17 stands for No Children Under 17. This, in essence, replaced the single X. So if a new rating was made for clarification, why don't we have more NC-17 movies in theaters? Because exactly what many of you watching think. Because what I used to think. Honestly, I've never seen an NC-17 movie.
Me neither.
I don't know. But I will admit that I now understand the stigma behind it, because double and triple X essentially defined the single X, and NC-17 replaced the X. Moviegoers think that NC-17 is triple X.
Triple X,
Theaters
right.
don't want to play NC-17 films because they're thought of as being too much. Media channels don't want to advertise these movies either. When these movies have rarely been put in movie theaters, audience members don't show up. When a movie is given an NC-17 rating by the MPA, it is considered the kiss of death for profitability. A film studio can have a rating in mind for a movie when it's in production, but the MPA can assign it something else. The Conjuring, for example, was intended to be rated PG-13 during production. After review, the MPAA at the time, the extra A was there, the MPAA at the time rated it R for being, and I quote, too scary. There were no specific moments that warranted the rating that the movie makers could just take out. Instead, the MPAA told them it was the whole thing. It was just too scary, so it was going to be rated R. The filmmakers decided just to keep it rated R. So what happens when a movie is submitted to the MPA? Formerly the MPAA, and it receives that NC-17 rating.
Dang.
American Pie, The Godfather Part 3, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, right. Those are the movies that are NC-17.
American Pie, Boogie Nights, The Godfather Part 3, Braveheart, all received NC-17 ratings initially, and yet they were all released as rated R. When a film receives a rating a studio doesn't want, the studio can appeal the rating, or they can make some edits and resubmit. PG-13 is actually the most profitable rating because most audience members assume that G and PG movies are, you know, a little kiddie, and R-rated movies are a little bit more intense. So PG-13 is that sweet spot that basically everybody can go to unless you're like 4. Through either appeal with the ratings board or re-edits, films like The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Eat, Pray, Love, Zoolander were rated R upon submission, but later lowered to PG-13. In our current day, has the rating system been worked to perfection? No. Absolutely not. The Passion of the Christ, for example, received an R rating. However, the film was described as being grotesquely violent, and many film professionals wondered if it would have been rated NC-17 if it was not about Jesus Christ, because similar R-rated films were not that violent. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was rated PG-13. There was a lot of discourse whether or not it should have been rated R for its kind of gruesome violent sequences. These examples are just the tip of the iceberg. The last MPA ratings update was made in 1996, when the minimum age of NC-17 was raised from 17 to 18. So it was NC-17, no children under 17, and now it's no children under 18, called NC-17. Whatever. Has society reached the point where we need a ratings update? What do you think? If you'd like to know how Star Wars changed...
So, now, that's the bulk of what it is that we got to do here for the last, 15 minutes of Expansion Pack. And it's not just about movies. It's about what we are doing here, period. Generally, period. What we doing here. You out here just plundering and getting it. You down for the get down. Or are you trying to lead your life into something? Are you going somewhere? Would you like to have something? Because the reason I say that is because it's not about your religion. It's not about your faith. It's not about all of these mystical words I can put on it. It's just about what you want and when and how you see yourself getting it. Let's just say you want a good, comfortable journey in the afterlife. Well, maybe you might do a little differently than the next man here, who is not interested in that. Maybe the man that they just interested in the life that they getting here and putting it down here. You see? And so anything that could come after here, they're not concerning themselves with. Now, that doesn't mean they don't plan for the future. This could be what they see tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. So they plan for that. They don't necessarily plan spiritually for tomorrow, but they plan for tomorrow here, you know? And if tomorrow doesn't come here and they haven't planned for the tomorrow that comes after, They didn't even, it wasn't even aware of it anyway. They didn't put that in the schedule anyway. So there you go. Now I kind of look at it like the ant and the grasshopper at this point. All right. Now we tend to think that and this is where we, like I said, we hitting the root. We tend to think that our actions and our behaviors are just in the moment and in right now. But we know for a fact, if I were to drop this napkin, it's going to continually fall until it can't fall anymore. It's not like it's just going to fall right now and it's over. It's still falling until it's not. So let's just start at the top level of this, all right? Y'all ready? Here you go. You're parenting. Hold on, wait, no. Let me go back. You're living until you're not. So everything that you do while you're living, you're going to do it until you're not living anymore. Now, let's sandwich some stuff in between that, all right? Now, you're parenting until you're not, because you're living. You're eating until you're not, because you're living. You're drinking until you're not, because you're living. You're walking, maybe not, but you have motion, maybe not, until you're not. All of these things, the reason I'm saying it is because all of these things affect the other. It's not a domino effect, it's a chain. And yeah, you could have a weak link to it, but it won't ever break. I don't know how that fits in y'all mind. Everybody look at stuff like, oh, it's either lasting or it's not lasting. Either it's fixed or it's broken. No, some things can be weak. And all right, I think maybe y'all is in Wonderland and with what I just said. So let me pull you out of Wonderland and put you back into the front seat. You make a choice today, it affects tomorrow. Your choice from yesterday affected your choice for today, which affected tomorrow. Let me make sure I like this video and save too. That is what we talking about, and you wanna keep that path as open and clear as possible. Now, are you making bad decisions today? You probably are. Can you stop those bad decisions today? Yes, you can, and it would affect your tomorrow. Only thing I got for this, y'all, is that we're not exactly time travelers or gods or magicians or nothing like that. Not in the strict sense of what they say in books and that you be reading or movies you be watching. But you are. We are. We are all of those things simply for the fact that we have choice. Let's look at this. The gift of choice. And like I said at the opening of the show, you don't want to burn all of the bridges that's ahead of you. That is detrimental. You probably know some people that done did that or still doing it to this day. I got 3 different chapsticks and I ain't got none of them on my lip. Let me put a little chapstick on. All right, let's go.
God was testing man because God had given man a gift, the gift of choice, the freedom of choice. Man could serve God and love God and build a world with God, or he could rebel against God and try to build his world without God. But God said if you choose that way, you will suffer and you will die. You will die physically, you will die spiritually, you will die eternally. And man was tempted. He yielded to the temptation. He sinned, and by that one man's sin, your father and my father, Adam, death passed by sin to all men. And tonight, you and I, whoever we are under the sentence of death.
Okay, hey, look, that last bit just hit my soul. we under the sentence of death. Man, ain't no amount of talking I can get around that one. When I'm gone, y'all, you feel me? Let's see what's up.
The way that God has designed you is with the ability called volition. Volition is the ability to choose. Choose. You get to choose your career. You get to choose what kind of car you want to drive. You get to choose relationship. You get to choose your friends. You get to choose. Come on. You get to choose to move forward with life. Relationship breaks up. You get to choose what you wear. It's so much that comes with volition. That's a very powerful gift that you have. That is the ability to choose. So you can choose to be down. You can choose to be up. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to be sad. You can choose to have a positive outlook on life, or you can choose to want to give up on life. That's a powerful thing. We're talking about how God designed you. He designed you with the ability to choose. The way that God has designed
Let's see what's
you.
up. Let's see some more of this.
You have an abundance of choice. You have complete freedom in your life. You can say what you mean, not go around it in a certain way. You can live your own truth. You have an abundance of choice.
Every choice we make either draws us closer to God or farther away. And God gave us one of the greatest gifts, free will. But we usually abuse that choice. Free will is not just the pass to do whatever you want in life. It's the chance to love Him by obeying Him. But we choose sin over holiness, comfort over calling. We think that we're free, we get to do whatever you want. But don't waste your freedom. You're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences. So if you want to know more about what to do and the power of free will and our choice to choose, I made a long-form video attached below.
That's right.
I
Click
give you
that
plenty of
link in
tips. So don't forget to watch the full form.
That's right. That's my girl. Anyway. All right, y'all. Last one.
You know who else is designed that way? Humans. You know what our problem is? We've got the gift of choice. So when we hit negative resistance, we allow the resistance to cause us to go down rather than to cause us to go up the way that we were designed, because we've got the dignity of choice.
Yes, sir.
You know who else is?
That one, hey. I'm gonna do some good old talking to myself later on when y'all can't see me and be like, you know what, boy, you right. Boy, you right. You better get it because you right. So right now, what I want y'all to do to help find y'all way through all of this is use your power of volition. Now, it's very, very profound to say that you will never be anybody else. And so your way of doing things is special. We've been hearing that. But I got another one for you, all right? Choose wisely. This has been another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. I'm glad I can come in here and kick it with y'all every Monday through Friday. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. If you're in here, you're in here. If you're not, you're not. Next year is going to be good. This year was great. I'm writing out some plans, doing some changes. Yeah, it's not going to be always like this, so intimate and nice. But you'll always get me, you know. So if we ever have 30 people in here chatting, just remember that we started in 2024, 2025 doing this thing massively, and I appreciate y'all for another year. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna ride this thing out. Check out the winter holiday marathon stream. 'Tis the season to everybody. Make sure y'all tapping in with me, and I will see y'all tomorrow on Healthy Mental Thursday. This is DGTA TV. Peace.
And cheaper to go gem mining. Some gem mines actually allow you to go in with a pickaxe and mine your own crystals, and other have sand and water mining as well. This is a really fun experience, and I highly recommend it for anyone who's exploring crystals. Also, I feel it's important to note that if you have crystals and you want to learn what they are, simply do a Google search for crystal properties. There are tons of sites on the web which provide information on the particular frequencies or personalities of crystals. Crystals and gemstones are one of the most powerful tools available for us in the physical dimension right now. And like all tools, the key to maximum utilization is to learn how to consciously implement the tool. If we consciously recognize that our own electromagnetic fields are impacted by the energetic quality of each crystal and gemstone, we would see that they create an alchemical response within our own bodies and psychology, which would allow us to use them as the powerful tools that they are. We could use them on a daily basis to promote health, awareness, growth, and evolution within ourselves and the multidimensional lives we lead. So how does one use crystals? Well, we're going to go into that next week. To wrap this video up, let's conclude with something really awesome. The 13 Mayan crystal skulls. What are they? What were they? What do they do? I'm going to share what Drunvalo Melchizedek has shared, but there's a lot of information available out there. Perhaps we can go into a full story another time. In a nutshell, 13,000 years ago during the fall of Atlantis, the Maya took their calendar and left Atlantis. During this time, they carved a large crystal skull out of quartz crystal and held a ceremony. One person who was trained and prepared would consciously drop their body and enter into the skull, where they would reside within for the next 13,000 years. Then, every 1,000 years, another ceremony like this would take place. The ceremony involved a being who had an understanding of everything humankind knew at that point, and then